Be still and know, still my God is God. Oh, be still and know that God is God. Whatever you're going through, He is God. When you don't understand, still my God is God. Just be still, and know that God is God.
Let the church say amen. Amen. Be still. And know.
Yes, God.
That's what got people sometimes confused because they don't know. Them that know. Them that don't, just don't know. Thank God for the princess giving you a program.
Amen.
Words of encouragement, telling the young people, as well as you and you, to stay encouraged. She said she found God in time and on time. Has caused her to see the reality of God in her life.
Amen.
That's a blessing.
But if you keep on traveling this journey, you haven't seen nothing yet.
Talk about it.
But we thank God for what God has done,
Amen.
what God is doing,
Amen.
and what God is going to do.
Yes.
To give honor, supreme honor to I am that I am God, to His Son, the Christ, Black Jesus,
Yes, God.
gift and the power of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Give honor to our foundation, none other than King Melchizedek, priest of the Most High God.
Amen.
And giving honor to our universal King, King Peter, 365 degrees, blessed be His name.
Yes, God.
To the pillars that stood by His side, His queens, none other than Imperial Queen Priscilla, Imperial Queen Shulamite,
Amen.
Imperial Queen Kingsby Queen Capanon,
Amen. Amen.
to my teacher, Mother and Master Rebecca,
Amen.
to my wife, the Kennedy Rachel,
Amen.
Queen Jury, to you, the teachers, God's anointed, God's chosen, appointed, selected.
Bless them.
He just God's people. They're God's love. God loves us
All right now. Thank you.
as a people.
Yes.
Bless them. Yes.
And I thank God for that divine love,
Amen.
divine creation. We are the manifestation of a divine ideal. And as we continue to mold ourselves into that we were created to be, then you will walk in this life with a greater purpose. I'm not going to hold you long, just want to talk briefly to you on this day. Amen. So much could be said, so much in the atmosphere, so many concerns, so much need to be answered, so much to some trouble. But through it all, as the sun rises and the sun sets, we know that each time we stand to our feet, it is another chance to change the very circumstances that we may be in. To allow I am that I am God to do the miraculous thing, to perform a miracle
Yes, God.
right before your eyes.
Yes, God. Thank you.
And we trust and we know
Dear Lord.
that these things are so because someone went before us. And we tried it for ourselves one day. And we know today that it is true. God deals with us in this reality. And we're grateful that we can call on I am that I am God answers
Thank you, Black Jesus.
our prayer.
Thank you, Lord. Yes.
That's mighty good news. Y'all don't go nowhere too far because we may do something a little different. So stay here with me. Amen.
Amen.
You'll find me talking this morning about a principle that oftentimes gets said, and oftentimes people give instructions to you and I. Some refer to it even in workshops. You go to seminars. You may have heard it sometimes posted on your Facebook feed. You often hear this word. And sometimes we are struggling with it because we try to live up to it and not understand what it really means. And that word is positive thinking. Everyone tries to operate in it. You have been instructed to try to deal with it. Even in sometimes difficult situations, someone may refer to you and say, be positive about it. But we're going to talk briefly, not going to hold you, but we're going to talk with this mind called positive thinking. Maybe I can shed a little light and understanding of what's really going on. For one, what is it and what it is not? And so you'll find me in the book of Proverbs,
Amen.
around the 23rd verse and the 7th chapter. And in this particular scripture, Proverbs is wise saying. The wisdom that is often applied to our understanding or our thinking when it comes to the wisdom of God. And how we should apply it. The 23rd chapter of Proverbs and the 7th verse. And it's going to share with you to kind of correspond with the concept of positive thinking. Positive thinking is not the ability to think wrong right. Positive thinking is not the ability to think wrong right, but to think right about the right thing.
Come on, please.
Sometimes we try to make something wrong right. That's not what positive thinking is.
Go ahead, please.
Positive thinking is the ability to think right about the matter. You could be in the wrong matter trying to make it right, and it's not going to get right. That's not what positive thinking is. It's to think right about the matter that you're in. So once you understand what it is, then you understand what it's not. And so in the book of Proverbs, around the 23rd verse, that came to me one morning. I was laying in the bed. I went back and forth with the queen. I had my revelation moment. And then I put it in my notes. It's in my notes now. Right. Because oftentimes we think positive thinking is the ability to make wrong right. That's why many times you all have been in situations, circumstances, relationships, or whatever, and you say, well, if I think right about it, it'll get right. No. If I change my thinking, the situation will change. No. That's not what positive thinking is. So we have to understand it is the ability for you to see, or not necessarily see, but once you understand what has been revealed, because see, first of all, I tell people all the time, once God reveals the truth of the matter, please, God's people, don't try to augment or change what God has revealed. Amen. If you catch somebody stealing something out of your purse or stealing something out of your house, Don't try to turn around and say, oh, they didn't mean to do that. Or maybe this, you try to justify all the reasons. No, you caught them stealing. That's the truth. And you may not be able to trust them. And if you are, you got to really put a whole lot of test to that trust, that you may be able to trust that person in their way. But don't be upset because it's been revealed that the person is a thief. You be like, oh, I couldn't believe they stole from me. It may be true. You may not, can't believe, but they did. You caught them, and that's the truth.
Amen.
But instead, we constantly try to make something that is not. And then if we try to make something that is not, then you understand this, God's people. There are things that come along with trying to make something that is not. Because 9 times out of 10, when we're trying to make something that is not, there's always someone else involved who we're trying to make them something that they're not. And then we get caught up in the hurt or the disappointment because they won't become what you think they should be.
Amen.
You don't hear me.
Amen.
You know, we're getting close to the first of the year, and we got to always take inventory. In Coptics, I want y'all to understand this key today. In the 23rd of Psalms, the Bible gives us the instructions. And it's very simple. It says, for as a man or woman thinketh in his or her heart, so is she, and so is he. That's all I want. As a person think, what a person thinks on,
Go ahead.
the thoughts that's in the person's mind. So a person thinketh, that is who they are. You got to get control of your thinking. I tell you often, it's a mind way. I know we want to think it's every other way, but it's a mind way. Your mind is the most powerful thing. The most powerful, it's the power and the source of all things that is either manifested, that is seen and unseen. So how do we take the mind so lightly when it is the mind that determines where you are in your life? So when I say you are in life, or you are in a place in life based on how you think, and the first thing that comes to your mind is, but what about all the things that happened to me that caused me to be in a different events and places in my life? Oh, those things are true, yeah. But that doesn't mean that because certain things happen to you, that determine the outcome. Remember I said earlier, it's how you respond.
Amen.
Because just like you say, well, I lost this, somebody can say, I lost that and still overcame where you didn't overcome. So it's not based upon what happened to determine where you are. It's based on how you think about what's going on. Oh, I want you to talk to me this morning.
All right, praise, go ahead.
And this is why you have the power to change your thinking. And the say, I have the power to change my thinking.
To change my thinking.
If you can't do nothing else, you can change your thinking.
Wow.
Now, the power of changing your thoughts is not necessarily the power or the ability to change somebody else's thoughts.
Go ahead, priest.
And when people have made up in their mind that they're not going to change the way they think, so the scripture says, so they think, so are they. But as you think, so are you. So therefore, what you're thinking defines who you are, and what they're thinking defines who they are too. So therefore, we have to learn to govern our thinking based on what we're trying to get out of this life. This is why I tell you, poverty is a state of mind. If you think poor, then you are poor. You can have money and be poor. Because you're going to do the things that's going to slowly say, as the scriptures say, a fool in his money shall what? Surely part. Because you're going to do those things that could perpetuate the thought that you feel you shouldn't have it. You know how people feel guilty for being blessed? How many ever felt guilty about being blessed? Where did that come from?
Amen.
Because someone can make you think, or you can start to think, because God has put you in a blessed place, you have to feel some kind of way, like forever apologizing or forever act like you have to be humble. If God has blessed you, God has just blessed you. You don't have to walk around feeling a certain way because those around you may not stepped into their blessing, may not understand their blessing, may not be looking for a blessing, may not know their blessings. All kinds of state of minds that people are in about blessings. But I told you last time, ye are blessed. Ye shall what? Be blessed. And if we are blessed, then how can somebody walk around talking about I ain't blessed when God said I blessed you? In the city, out of the city. I bless you coming and I bless you going. I bless the fruit of your body. I bless the works of your hand. I bless the increase of your cattle and all that you do. I am that I am. God shall bless thee. And if we are blessed, then I think blessed. I think successful. I think prosperity about me. You didn't hear me. About me. Because if I try to think it about you, you may not necessarily think what I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. That's why I say you think you be thinking, but you don't be thinking.
Go ahead, preach.
Because see, you may think one way. And this is why it's so hard to get people to see whatever God is doing, because you don't think the same way as God is thinking or God has instructed us to think, because it is our thoughts.
Well,
Positive thinking says be positive. When things go bad, be positive. When you seem like you're getting down and out, pick yourself up, think positive. Then we always talk about keeping the opposite of thinking positive is what? Negativity, right? So we say, I want to get negative people out my life. I want to get negative things from around me. Negative vibration. Well, what is negative? You know, we're so quick to say negativity, but then what is negativity? If positive is not the ability to make wrong right, then what is negative? And sometimes you got to be careful. What you call a negative may be the truth.
amen.
I wish I had somebody. Sometimes the things you call a negative may be the truth. Because you don't want to hear it, that don't mean it's negative. And because you don't understand it, that don't mean it's negative. And because you don't agree with it, that don't mean it's negative. Because sometimes when things are brought to show us, you and I, we most of the time have a problem with it, and then we turn it internalize and say, that's negativity towards me.
Well,
Now, there are times when people purposely try, consciously, literally try to work against you and I.
come on now.
Huh? But remember, Coptics,
Go ahead, preach.
you should know this better than anybody. No one has power over you.
All right, hold on. Say it again, preach.
The only power you have is you give them power.
Amen. Amen.
If somebody walked up to you today, Queen, I don't care what degree, and said somebody was thinking evil against you, or even say working evil against you, most people will start getting worried. Start putting their oil on, and start dipping themselves in the Lake Minnetonka, trying to keep somebody's thoughts and forces from around them. And at the very moment you start doing that, I'm going to let you know you gave them power.
Go ahead, Pastor. Go ahead. Talk about it. That's what.
Somebody said, please, somebody working you. As soon as you say they are, and I accept that, so a man thinketh. So you start giving that power.
Yeah.
And they really had no power.
That's right.
Until you gave it to me. That's your mind.
Now, if you walk in the spirit of I am that I am God, first of all, somebody always thinking something anyway.
Right.
Can I bless you?
Amen.
Really, you know it or not, let me be the one to tell you. Somebody always got a thought about you, whether good, better, and different, and you can't control that. Let me be the one to tell you.
Not at all.
Everybody on the human planet, somebody is thinking something about you, good, bad, and different, and you can't control that.
Amen.
So since you can't control another person's thoughts, they say, I control your thoughts.
Control your thoughts.
All right. But what I can control is my thoughts. And my thoughts got more power than your thoughts.
All right now. Yes.
You don't hear me.
Yes.
See, you have to understand we are walking magnets of electricity.
Come on, priest.
You draw to you what you think. And even if you haven't drawn it to you, when it does come to you, it's still based on how you think.
Well.
And see, what people who, I wish I had time, but this may, I got to shift it, because this may go on the broadcast. I can't say all what I want to say, but let me just share this with you, just in note. Put this in the footnote. No one can do nothing unto you. Unless you give them a permission by thinking they can. I don't care if they stay in the heart of a pyramid. They can't do nothing to you.
Yeah.
Amen?
Amen.
That's my mind.
All right.
That's my spirit. That's my teaching. You got power against what? All unclean. Well, you don't hear me. So we think right thoughts. See, the more you think in the right realm of thinking, the more you'll be edified by the Spirit of the Holy Spirit. You can't think on things that will constantly bury your conscience. You bury your own self by the thoughts that entered into our mind.
Go ahead, priest.
Now, thoughts is just like we are like an antenna. Princess, you're like an antenna. Prince, y'all like an antenna. And whether you think on something or not, thoughts are everywhere. One, we know it comes through the television vision. You turn it on there, you can surf the channel, and you can pause and stop all day. And those words coming through the TV that we call entertainment have a thought behind it. Suggestions, ideals, perceptions, worldviews. And you can sit there and soak all that up and be infected by it.
Well.
Not affected, infected by it. You can listen to the radio, depending on what you listen on all day. You can be inspired or infected by it. Even what you read, depending on what you decide to read all day, you can be infected by it because there are thoughts being transferred to you. Right? Put thoughts in your mind.
Well.
You may not even felt bad about something, and you heard something, and you all of a sudden you feel bad. Have you ever heard something and then you got sick and you want to say, oh my God, I feel sick. I got to go lay down. I can't breathe. I said, what happened? I just heard something. They're like, what happened? The power of a thought.
That's right.
Now you had to accept it, and you had to accept the effects of it to make you what? Sick. But when you have the power of the mind, and you tell myself, so I think, so I will become. You don't hear me. If I think a certain way, I'm going to become it. So I got to be mindful of what I think. I got to govern the thoughts that govern my life. You understand? Sometimes people come around us, and you can be in a place and don't know you there. Oh, yeah, you can be in a place. Somebody can walk up to you and say, oh, you look so beautiful. And you so long been thinking that no one thinks you're beautiful. And even when that person comes, not even knowing what your thoughts are, you can't even accept that compliment. Because you've been thinking so low of yourself, you be like, really? Am I? Really? You like this? Well, I just said it. I didn't have to say it. And you can't accept. And this is why we have to do internal healing, because when we meet people, you bring your thoughts with you. And people are going to deal with you based on your action, because your action is a reflection of your thoughts. So you can say, I'm healed. I'm better. I'm getting better. No, you're not.
Amen.
The Bible says, I know what your mouth says, but what do your heart say?
Amen.
Because your mouth can say anything, but it's the heart of man that you got to get right. And if you don't clean your heart out, your thoughts going to come back and haunt you. Your thoughts is haunting you.
Yeah.
Your thoughts is chasing you. So therefore, that's why the Bible gives, I like that blessing Ludo gives. You don't know how powerful the blessing is. Jesus said, before you take the spoils of a man's house, you first have to bind the strong man of the house to get the spoil. But Jesus is not talking about a physical man. He's not talking about a person. He's talking about we first have to bind up those thoughts that have become strong in our house. Them bullies you got you sitting in the corner telling you, shut up.
Teach, priest.
You can't even get no water in your house. Didn't I tell you to sit down? When you try to stand up in the mass, get somewhere and sit down. You know you ain't strong.
Go ahead, prophet. Mercy.
You want to pray, shut up. I don't want to hear all that praying. Because it's a stronger force of doubt, uncertainty. Low esteem is entered into the house. So when the true you try to come, it grabs it. Get back over here and sit down. You know ain't nobody want to hear what you got to say. Instead of saying that, so I got a trumpet and I want to blow my trumpet.
Yes.
I got a voice. God gave me a voice. And I got to let my voice be heard. So today, positive is not trying to make the wrong right.
All right now.
And that's why we get so disappointed, because I try to think right about it. Sometimes you got to confront trouble where it lies.
Yeah.
You got to call it for what it is.
All right.
And that way, can I bless you? I'm almost out of here. See, when you deal with it head on, then you can deal with it for what it is. Because it says, so a man thinketh, so is he. Because if you don't deal with the trouble that may have introduced itself for what it is, then it can augment or it can start to affect your thinking. And how is it affecting your thinking? Because guess what? You're going to have to be either angry about it. You're going to have to either change your body language about that matter because you have not resolved it. So you're thinking it's wrong. Check this. You're thinking it's wrong. You know it's wrong, but you won't say it's wrong. So therefore, you have to fight within yourself about the wrong that you know you're dealing with. It's just like being in a stolen car. You know the car stolen and you joyriding. You know it's wrong, but you're still in it. So when the police come, everybody going to jail.
That's right. That's right, prophet.
So what you got to do when you know that it's wrong, it's wrong. Amen. Don't be scared to speak the truth. You understand?
Yes.
So Coptics, we have to learn this better than anybody. I am what my thoughts are. So again, this is not a thing of trying to make right wrong. This is not a thing to think happy or make yourself happy. But it is about you and I understanding the power of our thoughts.
Oh, yes, now. Yes. That's right.
Many of us can't set ourselves free because we don't believe we are free within ourselves. To liberate oneself is the first step to true spiritual freedom.
Talk about it.
And if we're not able to free ourselves from the snares of our own thoughts, then how can you set someone free?
Amen.
See, sometimes we mess up other people.
Talk about it, priest. Take your time.
Where we are in life.
Well,
The worst thing young people experience, I think, in this world is to be around broken people who have become adults and they bring that brokeism to their children.
talk about it. Go ahead.
And they don't even know they're doing it. Because they've been thinking that way for a long time. You know, you could think messed up so long that you think it's right.
Teach, priest. Teach. Well,
Think about this. I always say, even when you found out you was wrong about something, think about how long you thought you was right about something that was wrong. That's a mind blower.
That's right.
When you realize you was wrong about something and all along you was thinking it was right, think about how long and how adamant and how convicted you was about something that you thought was right and realized it was wrong. See how powerful the mind is? Because you can think wrong is right.
That's right. Come on, priest, talk about it. Yeah, Lord.
Until something come along and proves that, man, that was messed up. Sometimes we rear people up in our messed up way of thinking. Fear is a thing that some people stay in.
Talk about it now. Teach.
Fear is a word that often gets said, but fear has many attributes that we project out to people. Fear of everything. You know, some of us would be in a better place if we would let go of the unknown. See, fear, you know what fear is? Let me bless you with fear. Fear is not knowing what's going to happen next.
That's all it is.
It's the unknown.
That's right.
That's what you're afraid of. Because if it hadn't happened, what the heck are you afraid of?
Right.
You assume what's going to happen.
Come on, priest.
I would do this, but I was going to do it. Now, to be actually in it, that's a different kind of fear. To be literally in it, and it's happening, because God gave us fear to teach us how to flee from danger, to be mindful of danger. But I'm not talking about a fear that is present. You know, like you're in a burning house and you're trying to get out. That's a genuine fear. It's not imagining that you're afraid. You're trying to get out the house. Someone is attacking you. That's a literal fear. You're trying to fend for your life. I'm talking about the fear of thoughts about something happened that has not happened, and especially to you.
Well, teach, priest.
And then you say, well, what about my past experience? It happened before, then it's something that happened again. Not necessarily. I'm out of here. I'm almost done.
Go ahead, priest, me shut
Solomon said in Proverbs, observe the way of the ant. And when I looked at that, it said, observe the way of the ant. And when you look at the ant, I don't know if y'all paid attention to, most boys, if you played in the backyard and watched the Nature Channel, you can see the various types of ants. But an ant can build a colony. And if something come along and knock the ant colony down, most people in life will say it's over. This is what we say, I spent all my time. I gave all my money.
Yes.
I can't get that time back. I gave too much. You go through this whole litany about something that just happened that you call yourself building up, right? But the ant, if you knock the ant colony down, you know what the ants do? They get back together and start back building.
The next day.
They don't be sitting around and say, that don't make no doggone sense. That water buffalo came by here, knocked over the ant colony. We worked so hard, day and night. Now we ain't got no ant colony. What we gonna do? I ain't about to go out there and get child. I done did that already. I'm getting too old. I can't do that. I need some time. I gotta go on there and get that. The ants get back to business.
The next day, be right there.
You see. So when Solomon said observe them, why did he say observe them? Because if you follow their pattern, they're relentless in what they do. And so what we have to understand that in life, because you have experienced it before, that don't mean it's going to happen again.
Amen.
What you should have been saying is, I got some wisdom for why it happened last time like that. I learned something. I won't go back that way. I won't do it this way. But instead of us, we'll sit there and say, oh, it's me. And then we start, my saying, we start fanning princess, don't do this, don't ever do this. And in your most depressed times, don't ever do this. Promise, if you don't do this, you will make it out of it. When you start getting depressed, do not find all the depressed songs that you can find to listen to. Don't even find all the inspirational songs. I was lonely.
Sing, praise.
And Jesus found me. Don't find no depressed songs. Listen to them when you're upbeat. But when you're down, all they do is take you further down.
That's right,
You're going down the rabbit hole. The more you listen to, the more depressed. It's a depressed gospel song. They say they're inspirational, but I'd say they're depressed to me. They talking about how bad it is. I was lost. Find an upbeat song.
That's right, prophet.
Be optimistic about the situation. And God then can regenerate your mind.
Yes, God will.
That's why the boy hit it on the head. The boy had one of the greatest anthems that we could ever sing.
Yes, God.
She said, there's a brighter day ahead. Cause the master has seen.
That's right, freeze.
Long up the road. Do you see the light?
Yeah.
And she would get so adamant because her current situation should tell her she shouldn't be singing this song.
That's right.
Your current situation does not say this is the song that you should be singing.
Thank you, Black Jesus.
The song you should have been singing, I had some good days. I had some hills to climb.
Watch out.
Depressing, man. That's depressing to me. And I know I had the God to beat you up. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Come on, freeze. That's the song.
I won't complain. Really?
You just did.
Really, I won't complain.
Come on, freeze.
But see, Lord, have mercy.
Right.
But what it is that I know we use it for inspiration. Don't get me wrong. I'm just showing you a little twist to it.
Yes, Black Jesus.
Just a little twist. Just tweak it a little bit. That sometimes you gotta think in the higher realm of the spirit. So in my last close, stay strong.
Amen.
You are what you think. They say you are what you eat, but you are what you think.
Yes.
And what you got to do sometimes is sit yourself aside and evaluate your thinking. And know that your thinking is a deadly weapon. Your thoughts can build you up. Your thoughts can tear you down. And can't nobody convince you out of certain things when you were there.
You better say that.
I mean, when you're there, you're just there.
Yeah, Lord.
You know? So when you know you're not thinking in the right state of mind, that's why the Bible said, be ye transformed by the what? Renewing of the mind. When you know you're not thinking in right mind, right thinking, right spirit, then you have to be transformed in that new heaven and new earth conscious. And see things through the way God has designed things. This is why even what's going on now, though it appears that the world look like it's more negativity going on, you got to look through all that muddy water, that muddy confusion, and see what God has designed. It is still a beautiful world.
Amen.
Because if it was that much evil in the world, we couldn't be in this place having service. But it is still enough righteousness in the earth. And you are the righteousness of God. So therefore, how do you accept that it's more evil when you know you still stand? As long as listen, we say it all the time. If God is for you, he's more than the whole world against you. Well, if God is for you, how can the whole world be against you? So therefore, if I'm his and you are his, and we all are God's children, there is some righteousness on this earth. If I walk in the room for the killers, drug dealers, gang bangers, and murderers, if I walk in the room, the righteousness of God is here because I'm here. Same with you.
Yes, God, yes.
So therefore, let us change our thinking. And if we change our thinking, everything else follows. See, we too much want to change the situation. This is what's going on in our community. We're trying to change the situation without changing the thinking of the people. If the thinking of the people don't change, then no matter what you do, what you set in place, you won't get no results. Because our thinking has to change. You hear me, young people? There's what I love about you being young, you're going to make mistakes. Because that's part of life. But your mistake's supposed to be a less part of your lesson plan. But as you learn from the mistake, and I pray that you do, and don't have to repeat that. Remember this, and I'm done. You all got an opportunity just endless in front of you. And I always say this to the young people. It don't matter where you was born. It doesn't matter who your mother and father is. It doesn't matter your situation in life right now, princess. It does not matter. Whatever you think you want to be in this world, along with doing what it takes with that thinking, you'll reach your goal.
Amen.
So y'all should be excited. Because, Rod, if you want to be rich, you just got the work to do it. It's there. Ain't nothing stopping you. Now, the only thing that's going to stop you if you buy into, I can't do it.
Amen.
And the acronym of can't is I can and I'm not trying. So stop telling folks what you can't do. Why can't you do it? Who's stopping you? You stop yourself. As soon as the word out of my mouth, I can't do it, game over.
Go ahead, Prophet.
So stop saying what you can't do. You can do anything. Just say I can put anything I put my mind to. Just say I'm not focused in that area right now.
Amen.
That's what you say. I'm not focused in that area right now. But don't say what you can't do. I'm just not focused in that area at this time. Because the mind is a powerful tool.
Yes, it is.
It's a powerful tool.
Yes, it is.
And if you don't learn the art of the mind, you will be a prisoner and be walking around here free.
Amen.
You understand?
All right, Chris.
You be walking around here with clothes on, getting dressed every day, be just as locked up as the guy down on 26 in California.
Amen.
So God bless you. Heaven smiled upon you. We're not going to go any farther. I pray that someone got a thought.
Amen.
Pray someone understand that you are where you are based on your thinking. And may God bless you. And heaven smile upon you. Doors of the church is open. Maybe someone had to come and receive prayer.